The following is a presentation of PH Athletics. From Northern Highlands Regional High School in Allendale, New Jersey, PH Athletics proud to welcome you to the 2025 Pascack Hills baseball season, beginning as the home team, yet here in Allendale as they take on the Highlanders on opening day. I'm Matthew Merlino. We'd like to thank the wonderful folks here in Allendale for helping us out and giving us some nice seats up here in the booth. Cameraman today is Sean Barry, and he'll help bring all of the action back to you in Montvale. We'll be back in just a few moments. You won't have to wait a bit for the first pitch of a new season. Looks like we are ready to go in Allendale. Kyle Wenkes will be the pitcher for Pascack Hills. Did not pitch at all last year, was recovering from Tommy John surgery. First pitch of the season is a strike from Wenkes, and we are underway with an 0-1 count. The leadoff batter for Northern Highlands, perhaps their best player, a junior, Jake Wagner, committed to Old Dominion University. He'll also be playing shortstop. Second offering from Wenkes is another one on the inside bottom corner, and quickly it is Wagner behind in the count, 0-2. We'll see what Wenkes can do, trying to start the season off right. That one outside. And it's a 1-2 count now. We'll get you the fielders for Pascack Hills, a new look lineup after losing 8 seniors last year, the Broncos. Ground ball foul, it looks like, from Wagner. And the count will stay at 1-2. And with a little break, we'll try to get you as many of the infielders as possible. Anthony Blackford, who's committed to University of Maryland, Baltimore County, that's UMBC, for Division I ball next year. He's at first. The catcher, a junior, Jake Szabo. As Wenkes on a 1-2 count, throws one inside. And we've got an even count, 2-2. The other infielders, Emerson Cho at second, Kyle Marquise, the junior, at short. And making his varsity debut, Gavin O'Donnell, another junior, at third. Swing and a miss for Wagner. And the first out of the season, a strikeout swinging for Wenkes. Now up to the plate for Highlands. It's the third baseman, the sophomore, Alec Petrino. And a foul ball off of Petrino to start his at-bat, the second of the game. And we have an 0-1 count early. Wenkes' second offering to Petrino just a bit outside there, and it's 1-1. Nearly hit him on the third pitch. Wenkes losing a little bit of control here as he faces his second batter. Now, Petrino did not bat last year. He's a sophomore. And his brother, it looks like Mark Petrino, was a senior last year, now graduated. Averaged a 4.64. 2-1 from Wenkes. In there, strike two. Looking for a clean start. Already has one strikeout. 2-2, just a little outside, and we've got a full count here. That's for Alec Petrino, the sophomore, and he'll take ball 4, ducking behind it. And there's a man on and one out for Northern Highlands in the top of the first. Next up, the second baseman for the Highlanders, number 1, Evan Radoncic, the senior. That one fouled off by Radoncic. The Northern Highlands, led by head coach Paul Albarella. They were 13-15 last year, 3-5, competing in the Big North Freedom Division, where they finished 4th of 5 teams, but were a finalist in the 8-team Bergen Invitational Tournament. They lost in the final against Bergen Catholic. There's a ground ball over to third, looking for a double. Won't get it, but will get one. A nice play from Gavin O'Donnell in his varsity debut to try and get the double play, but it does not work out. Still 1 out and a man on first. So 1 out from that play. It's 2 away for the top of the first inning. And now the cleanup batter for Northern Highlands coming to the plate. First baseman Zach Braunstein, one of the 9 seniors on the Highlands roster. Wankus' first pitch fouled off by Braunstein. We have an 0-1 count here. Oh, 1. Too high, and we've got a 1-1 count. 2 away and a man on first for Northern Highlands. That is Radoncic. Wankus got the pitch he wanted. There's a base hit into right, and it will stay as that. Zach Braunstein with a 2-out base hit advances himself and Radoncic. So there's runners on first and second, 2 away in the top of the first. And now the 5th batter in the Northern Highlands lineup, the left fielder, junior Will Simmel. And he wears number 2. Swings and misses at the first offering from Wankus. We've got an 0-1 count. That one out of Zabo's glove, the catcher. It was high anyway, so it's a 1-1 count for Simmel as Wankus tries to head back to the dugout. And he'll lead off for Hills in the bottom of the first inning. Hopefully try to get some of the hits back that Highlands has gotten off of him early in this one. Wankus outside for ball 2. Now we know we are in Allendale, but this game originally scheduled for yesterday afternoon and originally scheduled to be at Hills. Strike 2 for Simmel. Unfortunately, bad conditions and the rain destroying our field over in Montvale forced this one to get moved over here. And now what we have is an interesting situation where the team on the road is the team by the rule book at home, meaning Hills will have a chance to walk off if necessary, if they cannot. Called strike 3 for Wankus. That'll end the top of the first inning, and we go to the middle of the first scoreless, although Highlands did get some pitches. And before we go to the top of the second, we'd like to show you a little interview that we had with Pascack Hills head coach Nick Evans on what this season we should expect. Here with Pascack Hills baseball coach Nick Evans. Last season, coming off a state championship year, then in the state playoffs, lost in the second round, kind of a disappointing exit. How's the team going to rebound this year?
High expectations, I think. We were able to integrate, which is now a very talented junior class as sophomores last year, get their feet wet. So they have that experience coming into this year. We have some returning seniors that we invested some time into last year coming back. We feel we have a lot of depth within our rotation, and we have a lot of young talent in our lineup. So, feeling pretty confident.
As for the young talent, you lost a lot of seniors last year. Joe Giordano, Andrew Strime, the Stern brothers, Jake Lula, Matt Tortora, among others. How are those guys going to be replaced? Is it going to be seniors coming up, or will it be more underclassmen?
I think everyone's, we have, like I mentioned, our junior class. They're going to step into some of the roles. I mean, that was a talented senior group. You don't replace a Joe Giordano rook. Andrew Strime stepped up in a huge way for us last year after missing his junior year with a back injury. The Stern brothers, Torts, the heart and soul of that team. We were able to have those sophomores, now juniors, with those seniors last year. So they can kind of show them the ropes and learn a thing or two from them. So we're hoping that the legacy the seniors left and the fingerprint they left in this program is the juniors will pick that up now. Now juniors will pick that up and move forward with it.
You've got, in talking to some of your players and just looking it over myself, you got a very tough schedule, both in the league, a very tough league, and out of the league as well. You've scheduled some tough opponents. What are the expectations coming into this year?
Taking it game by game. I mean, we know our division, the Patriot division, the Big North is, in our opinion, obviously we're biased, but it's the toughest division, especially in a public division, in the public setting, in my opinion, in the county. We mixed in some solid crossovers and independents, but we opened up in Northern Highlands. Big school, good baseball tradition over there. We know we're going to have our hands full with that, and we harp every day, just taking it day by day, win the day. Going to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're looking at Highlands and getting ready for Highlands, and then after that, we'll move on.
Who's your toughest opponent you'd say you've got on the docket this year?
There's a couple. I mean, in our division, we got Ramsey, Westwood. They always give us trouble. Mawa's bringing back 2 starters in the rotation that are going to give us issues, I think. Riverdale. I think Riverdale's has got some young talent that they're going to, let it fly with this year. And obviously Indian Hills, who, had quite a year last year, getting a first-round bye in the county tournament and making it pretty far in the section.
Well, the translation for that is tune in for all the league games. We'll have some coverage for you, pretty much all of Pascack Hills baseball's home games. Thank you, Coach. Hopefully I'll be talking to you after some wins this year.
Absolutely, Mad Dog. Anytime.
All right. We are here for the first at-bats of the season for Pascack Hills, and as we said, taking those first at-bats, Kyle Wenkus, beginning his junior season, third on varsity. Last year, as we said, did not pitch, recovering from Tommy John surgery, but that didn't mean he couldn't hit. And hit he did, averaged a .567, 38 hits for 67 at-bats. And he is facing for Northern Highlands, the pitcher is junior Donald Kohler, who did pitch last year. Wenkus took ball 1. And takes ball 2 as well. Kohler's third offering, right over the plate, 2-1. Kohler called strike 2. He had a 2.71 ERA in his sophomore season, pitched 10.1 innings. Wenkus swings and misses at strike 3. And his first at-bat will end in a strikeout. And next up for the Broncos, Kyle Marquise, a junior, wearing number 10 this year. He's playing shortstop. And we'll see what he can do after Wenkus' strikeout. He'll take strike 1. a bit low there, so it's a 1-1 count for Kyle Marquise. He played a little closer to the end of the season last year. Had 2 at-bats, had hits in both of them. That one outside for ball 2. Donald Kohler not batting. He's being designated hit for by Jaden Luftman. And we have a 2-2 count after that pitch from Kohler. 1 away after the Wenkes strikeout. Kyle Marquise with a 2-2 count. Just outside for ball 3. Full count for Marquise. Second batter of the game for Hills. Second batter faced by junior pitcher Donald Kohler of Northern Highlands. Here's the 3-2. In there, called strike 3. Hills dugout not happy, but that's the call made by the umpire. And 2 up, 2 down for Kohler. It's a little windy here, I think you can tell. And the third batter for Pascack Hills, also their second baseman, another junior wearing number 2. It is Emerson Cho, who played last year at second base, batted .408, 20 for 49. Took ball 1 here. He wore number 20 last year, took off the 0. And it's a 2-0 count for Cho. .2-0 from Kohler. In there, it's a 2-1 count now. Wind blowing in from the outfield. Cho swings and misses. We've got an even count. 2-2 once again for Kohler. Has 2 strikeouts already. Will he get a third? That's a fly ball, and it's a base hit in left. Emerson Cho with the first hit of the game and of the season for Pascack Hills with 2 out. So Cho is on first, and now to the plate, the cleanup batter this year, also the first baseman today, Anthony Blackford. As we said at the top, committed to the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. If you don't know them, you'll remember them from beating Virginia just a few years back in March Madness as a 16 seed, and it's strike 1 to Blackford. So an 0-1 count with 2 away. That's the sound of my notes falling everywhere. 0-1 to Blackford. In there, 0-2 for AB. Thank you. In the dirt, ball 1. Highlands a strike away from going to the top of the second here. We got started about 15, maybe 30 minutes behind schedule. As this game, as we said, moved from Montvale to Highlands. Pickoff, Cho on the bag in time. And now Blackford will face the 1-2. Kohler, a chance to end the inning. Won't do that. Foul ball off of AB. And the catcher, Tyler Bayless, will get it right back to Kohler. Still a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from Kohler. Cho going. It's in the dirt, and he'll steal second So Emerson Cho with a nice stolen base there. He's in scoring position, but there's 2 away, so AB will need a good hit here. Kohler with a man on second. In the dirt. 2-2 now. With Cho on second, you can see him. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, base hit. Cho may come home. He will. They're waving him. Can the throw get there in time? It will not. Emerson Cho with the first run of the season for Pascack Hills off of a RBI single from Anthony Blackford. And with 2 away at that. And now they'll go to the 5th batter, the cleanup man doing his job for Pascack Hills today. That 5th batter, the designated hitter, a senior, Corey Ginsberg. And he's filling in for Eddie Mulligan, the center fielder. First pitch to Ginsberg, low, and we've got a 1-0 count. Swing and a miss for Ginsberg, 1-1. Ginsberg swings and misses at strike 2. And now perhaps the final pitch of the inning for Kohler, although he did let up a run on that RBI single from Blackford. Ginsberg, 3 straight swinging strikes. We end the first inning. A 1-0 Bronco lead. We'll see if they can keep it through the second. Top of the second inning for Pascack Hills. And we've got a 1-0 Bronco lead. Northern Highlands up at the plate, number 11, the DH, Jaden Luftman. And the first pitch of the second inning from Wankus in the dirt. Remember, he hasn't pitched in a game since his freshman season when he relieved on that state champion team. Had a 1.25 ERA in 39 innings. Second pitch also outside from Wank, and it's a 2-0 count for the junior. Swing and a miss on strike number 1 for Luftman. 2-1. And a swing and a miss to make it a 2-2 count for Luftman. Wankus' third ball is in the dirt nearly, and Zabo having to come out of his stance to get that one. And it will be ball 4 to Luftman. He'll take first base. And now coming up, the right fielder, senior, Steven Martinez. Number 12. Let's try and get you the full fielding lineup for Hills. Wankus the pitcher. Jake Zabo is the catcher, a junior. AB, Anthony Blackford at first. No advancement. Second base occupied by Emerson Cho. Short is occupied by Kyle Marquise. And third is Gavin O'Donnell. That's 3 juniors and 1 senior in the infield. The outfield, in left, Joe Napolitano, a junior, also pitches. Eddie Mulligan, the senior, in center. And that one outside from Wank, so it's 1-1. Excuse me, 2-0. We said left was Napolitano, center was Mulligan, and in right, also another varsity debuter, John Giantonio, another junior. And the DH today for Hills is Corey Ginsberg. 2-1 for Wank as he faces off against the seventh batter in the Highlands lineup, that is Steven Martinez. It's a 3-0 count. Board had 2-1, but the umpire clarified. And now we'll have a little conversation between Coach Evans and the umpire. We'll check what the board has. Yeah, they're replacing it. I believe it's 2-1, and it is. So a 2-1 count for Wenkis here. Runner going, swing and a miss. Szabo popping. Did they get him? No, just barely. Szabo tried to get it to Cho, but Luftman able to steal second. Still a 2-2 count after the swing at the plate. None away. And a runner on second now for the Highlanders. And that one outside for Wenkis again. 3-2 now the count. None away. This just the second batter of the inning. Swing and a miss. Did he tip it? No. So the first out of the top of the second, a strikeout for Jaden Luftman from Kyle Wenkis. One away, man on second. Now up the center fielder, another senior, Charlie Gobert. And he wears number 3. Wenkis' first offering right in there. A nice pitch for strike one. Ground ball, Wenkis trying to get to it, mishandles it, flip to first, there, and they'll get the out. Runner does advance, that one being Luftman, so there's a man on third with 2 away. Last batter in the Highlands lineup, number 9, wearing number 4. The catcher, Tyler Bayless, a junior. And the runner on third, Jaden Luftman. But Wenkis can end things here and send everybody back to the dugout with an out. That one inside, ball 1. I believe they'd prefer to end the inning on this at-bat because next up is Jake Wagner, who last year is only a sophomore, batted .397. But we have a 2-0 count. That one in there. First strike for Wenkis, 2-1. That one just high, 3-1. As we said, next batter, if they get there, is Jake Wagner. I believe Hills would prefer if the at-bat ends here, but it won't. And with 2 away, there's runners on the corners, and Jake Wagner, the junior committed to Old Dominion, coming to the plate with a chance to tie or take the lead. And Jake Zabel will come to the mound to consult with his pitcher, Kyle Wenkes. As we mentioned, Wenkes, his first outing for Pascack Hills since recovering from Tommy John surgery last year. He did not pitch at all in 2024. And starting the opening game of 25 for the Broncos. It'll be Wagner, who last year as a sophomore had 8 extra base hits plus 1 home run. Batted .397 with a .621 slugging percentage. See if he can drive in a run here. He had 16 RBIs in his sophomore season. And they need 1 here to tie things up. 2 away. Wenkes' first one hits Wagner. And we have bases loaded with 2 away and a 1-0 Pascack Hills lead. The next batter now, Alec Petrino, the sophomore, making, by our stats say, his varsity debut. His brother Mark, last year a senior, had 5 RBIs, batted .464 in 28 at-bats. And now, Wenkes on the mound with Coach Nick Evans, checking him out, obviously trying to make sure he's okay. It's been a fairly poor start for Wenkes here. He hasn't seemed to had control for most of his at-bats. But we'll see what he can do now after that conference with Coach Evans. A 1-0 Pascack Hills lead. Bases are loaded. There are 2 outs. And the man who can do some damage to the Hills lead is Alec Petrino, the sophomore. Wenkes with Zabo catching. First pitch. Pop fly. Zabo will not be able to catch it. 0-1. Second offering from Wenkes. Over his head. 1-1 count. Ground ball right back to him. Goes off his glove. 1 run's going to score, it looks like. Can they get him out? No! It will be a RBI single coming from Alec Petrino. Jaden Luftman scoring to tie it with 2 away in the top of the second inning. And now it is Evan Radoncic at the plate. The bases are still loaded. So Highlands with the chance to take a lead here. That one inside. Radoncic had to take some evasive maneuvers, and we have a 1-0 count. That one in there, 1-1. One and one from Wank. In there, strike 2. Radoncic, a senior, last year batted .412 in 17 appearances. Ball there just outside, 2-2. Bases loaded. Highlands dugout rowdy. Hills trying to end the inning with just 1 run scored. Wenkist, ground ball. Goes right to the shortstop. Marquise to second and Cho. Out number 3. 1-1 game at the middle of the second inning. Back to continue here in Allendale. Northern Highlands facing off against Pascack Hills. And it is a 1-1 ball game after an RBI single in the top of the second for Highlands from Alec Petrino, the sophomore, in what we can tell is his first varsity game. At the plate for Hills, this looks like Gavin O'Donnell. And that one outside for ball 1. O'Donnell making his varsity debut. That one in there. Looked like it was a little inside to me, but it's a 1-1 count. One in the dirt, and we have a 2-1 count. Today, a very busy day for Pascack Hills sports. They have many things going on. Track and field for their spring season opening at Ramsey today. Our softball team opening their season at Dwight Morrow as O'Donnell, it looks like, took ball 3 there. Waiting for some scoreboard confirmation. Right now it shows 2-1. That one in the dirt, and it will be a 5-pitch walk. So O'Donnell takes first, and now up to the plate in his varsity debut, John Giantonio. As we said, a very busy day for Pascack Hills sports. Girls golf opening their season. They're taking on Ridgewood today. Boys golf taking on Demorest. Track opening at Ramsey. Softball opening at Dwight Morrow. Baseball opening here. And boys tennis opening their season in a league game at Mawa. Ball 1 for Giantonio. And the baseball team is a very busy week. 4 games this week, including a big one tomorrow at St. Joe's up here in Montvale. Friday, weather permitting, as always, will be at Hills for a game against Tenafly. And then on Saturday, it will be at home, but some scheduling conflicts force us not to be there. They take on Passaic Valley in the Tom Caccelli Classic. We've got a mound conference here. Coach Paul Albarella coming out. And he'll talk with his pitcher, that being Donald Kohler. We'll step aside for a moment. Back after a quick chat for Coach Paul Albarella and his pitcher Donald Kohler. 2-0 count. Outside, 3-0 for Giantonio in his first varsity at bat. And he'll take a 4-pitch walk. So 2 straight walks for Kohler. They called that a strike. It looked like John was getting ready. Can you tell it's a new season? Can you tell I'm a little rusty? 3-2 now for Giantonio. Runner goes. Giantonio swings and misses at second. O'Donnell is safe, but there is one away after the strikeout at the plate. And now coming up is the 8th batter, Jake Zabo, the catcher. So O'Donnell at second after stealing the base. Ground ball for Szabo right to the third baseman. He'll look to go to first, and he'll get Szabo. O'Donnell works his way back to second. There's 2 away. Hit it right to the third baseman, Petrino. Got it over to Zach Brunstein at first. And now another junior to the plate, Joe Napolitano. Final batter in this Hills lineup. 2 away, men on second, tie ball game at 1. That pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. Knapp fouls that one off. It's an 0-2 count with 2 away. O'Donnell trying to go, but forced back after the foul tip. Knapp swings and misses, and we go to the end of the second. Still tied at 1 between Northern Highlands and Pascack Hills. Back to the top of the third inning. Kyle Wenk is still on the mound for Hills. First offering is a pop fly. Cho going back, can't grab it, it'll fall. It's a base hit for Zach Brunstein to start the third inning. And now it'll be Will Simmel's turn to bat. We told you what's happening today for Hills. We did not tell you what's going on tomorrow. We'll be live for the girls lacrosse season opener as they take on Dwight Englewood. That'll be live at 4:15, I believe, here on PH Athletics tomorrow, as Wenkes' first pitch inside on Simmel. Also tomorrow for Hills Sports, girls golf taking on Tenafly, boys golf taking on Dumont, baseball, as we said, at St. Joe's, and softball also home, their home opener taking on Holy Angels. That one inside just barely. Should be a 2-0 count. Ground ball, a little dribbler. It's O'Donnell who loses it. And 2 straight hits off of potential errors if you're a scorekeeper. Northern Highlands with 2 on and none out. And while we're on the topic, as Jaden Luffman comes to the plate, last week for Hills, boys golf and boys lacrosse opening their seasons. The golf team went 0 for 2, unfortunately, losses to Ridgewood and St. Joe's. And boys lacrosse, while leading 1-0 at the end of the first quarter, did end up losing 13-2 at Pascack Valley last Saturday, with CJ Driver scoring both goals. Wenkes' first offering fouled off over towards the school. Hopefully the windows are protected. And it's an 0-1 count. Top of the third, none away. Jaden Luftman at the plate, 0-1 count. And runners on first and second for Northern Highlands. We are tied at 1. And a timeout. Luftman with the Highlands dugout very rowdy today. 0-1 count. In there, strike 2. Wankus the 0-2. Just high. And that one inside, excuse me. But it's a 2-2 count. Big pitch for Kyle Wankus. None out, 2 on. Tie ball game at 1. 2-2 count to Jaden Luftman. Swing and a miss. And so one falls for Highlands, but now to the plate is Steven Martinez, the senior. Wankus' first pitch to Martinez, low. We have a 1-0 count. That one inside, it looks like maybe a little high as well. 2-0 for Wankus, taking on Martinez here, trying to limit the impact of the two Highlands base runners. That one, a nice curveball in for strike 1. Two and one with one away. In there again, the curve got him, and we've got a 2-2 count. Martinez, after the Luftman strikeout, takes ball 3 right near his shoulder. Full count for Wankus. 1 away, 2 runners on. The Highlanders trying to take their first lead of this ball game. They won't get it on this at-bat. Strike 3 for Wankus. 2 away, 2 on. 8th batter coming up for Highlands, and that is the center fielder, Charlie Gobert. Another senior, batted .400 last year with 11 RBIs. 1 extra base hit, that one a triple. But he did have 11 singles as well. He'll take strike 1 here from Wankus. Wankus looking towards the second base. He'll get strike 2 on the outside corner. Wankus could get a big strikeout here. There's a high fly ball, but it's a little too high, and it is caught. So Wankus gets out of the hole. Giantonio makes the catch. And he goes from having 2 on with none away to 3 straight outs to keep it a 1-1 game as we head to the middle of the 3rd. Back to work in Allendale. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Kyle Wankus batting. He'll take strike 1. And it looks like it is still Donald Kohler on the mound for the Highlanders here. They did have a mound conference in the bottom of the 2nd. Doesn't seem like anything came of it. It's a 1-1 count here. And he swings and misses at strike 2. Wankus, as we said, did not pitch but hit .567 last year. Just trying to get on base. He'll have a 2-2 count here. Kohler on the 2-2. Just low. Full count for Kyle Wankus. Ground ball to short. And they will get him. It was Wagner making the play, and there's one away. And now it'll be Kyle Marquise coming up to bat. As we said, 2 for 2 last year in his sparing appearances, but going to become a big piece of this year's team. Joined late in the season last year and was mostly a relief pitcher. Believe that was a ball. Scoreboard confirms. Second one, also a ball. Nice hit, but a greater catch from Evan Radoncic. 2 away quickly for Pascack Hills. And it will be Emerson Cho, the 3 juniors. To start things off, we'll see if Cho can get on with 2 away. Ground ball for Cho. It's going to get through. 2 diving players, Emerson Cho, with a base hit with 2 away. And now it'll be the cleanup hitter, Anthony Blackford. It was this same situation, I believe, in the bottom of the first that led Hills to scoring what has been their only run so far. Cho was able to steal second, and Blackford was able to drive him home. We'll see if that happens here. Good pitch from Kohler, strike 1 on AB. Cho going again. Will they get him this time? No, it was a little short, and Cho will be safe at second base once again. Board has an 0-1 count. We'll check it if it changes. Next up for Hills is Corey Ginsberg. It's a 1-1 count. That one outside. 2-1. Blackford nearly swung at that one, but it is strike number 3 for AB, and we end the third inning still tied at 1. Back in Allendale, now batting for Highlands, Tyler Bayless, the junior. Wankus' first pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Now, we've told you a couple times now he didn't pitch last year, recovering from Tommy John, and 23 when he was a relief pitcher on that state championship team. A 1.25 ERA in 39 innings and about 730 pitches. Has 2 strikes here on Bayless. And he'll have a ground ball foul to keep it at 0-2. And it'll be a timeout taken for Bayless. He'll step right back into the box. 0-2 the count. Wenkus deals in the dirt. 1-2. Second one drilled right back to Wenkus, coming over Marquise, and he's able to make the play to Blackford. Great play from the shortstop, Kyle Marquise, to put one away. And now they'll go back to the top of the order and Jake Wagner. Wagner, the Old Dominion commit, pitcher, where last year he had a 5.25 ERA in only 2.2 innings, but more known in the infield and at the plate, .397 last year with a 6.21 slugging percentage. Facing off against Kyle Wenkus. That one nearly clipped his leg. In the dirt again, 1-0. That one in there. It was on the edge, but the umpire called it 1-1. In fact, it's a 2-1 count. That one a little low. 3-1. And it will be Wagner taking first after the walk from Wenkus. 1 out, 1 on, and Alec Petrino at the plate. And we'll get a timeout for Coach Nick Evans. Wenkus looking like he's coming out of this game. But we'll see if that's the case. He did come off the mound. And that will be the case. So Kyle Wenkus through 3 and about a third innings. He'll come back to the dugout. Presumably will take over at some position. And onto the mound. We'll see who it is. It looks like it may be Joe Napolitano here. But we'll get that to you when we come back. It is Kyle Marquise who is on the mound for Pascack Hills. Had 60 pitches last season and a 7.00 ERA in those 3 innings that he pitched. 3 strikeouts as well. And the junior has a ball on his first pitch of his second campaign. Wenkus filling in at short, where Marquise was playing for the first 3 innings. He'll get his first strike there. And it's a 1-1 count. Ground ball over to where Wenkus is. He's able to pick it up, rockets it over to first. AB has to come off the bag. It gets loose. Are they going to score here? Highlands will not send their runners home, but they'll get 2 in scoring position. Wenkus' throw a little bit too far for Blackford. And now Highlands with a golden opportunity, and Evan Radoncic has a chance to give them the lead. Runners on second and third. Radoncic last year had just 3 RBIs in his junior season and 17 at-bats. See if he can get 1. He'd prefer 2 here. And they're going to intentionally walk Radoncic. So the bases are now loaded for Zach Braunstein, the cleanup hitter. And Braunstein, who does not have any listed stats, at least from our NJ.com database. Marquise dealing, high fly ball. It is foul. That's O'Donnell. Can't make the catch. Braunstein with an 0-1 count. Bases loaded. Marquise dealing. High fly ball. That's got a chance. All the way back. Off the wall. This may be an inside the Parker. It will be a 3 RBI double. Zach Braunstein. Bases cleared except for the man on second. 4-1. And after the excitement of Braunstein's deep drive, it's Will Simmel at the plate swinging at strike number 1. Another high fly ball. That one closer to right, and the catch made by Giantonio trying to get the man tagging. He won't be able to, and Braunstein gets to third. But there's 2 away. Seems there is a very rowdy Highlands contingent near the booth. Happy at this 4-1 lead that can potentially be added to if Braunstein gets home. Jaden Luftman, the designated hitter, at the plate. And it's strike 1. That one in the dirt. 1-1. With 2 away, Marquise trying to limit and stop the bleeding. It's already 4-1. Trying to keep Braunstein from getting home. Swing and a miss. That looked inside. 1-2 count. 2 away. Kyle Marquise trying to send Hills back to the dugout and get the bats going. That one in the dirt, 2-2. Luftman had 7 RBIs last year, looking for his first of the season this year, won't get it, a foul ball. Another high fly ball, but that one is foul once again. That one high. Full count. Jaden Luffman trying to make it a 5-1 lead. A walk would bring up Steven Martinez. Swing and a miss. Marquise will head back to the dugout, but it'll be a little bit of a solemn walk. 4-1 for Highlands in the middle of the fourth inning. Bottom of the fourth, Hills trying to recover from what is now a 4-1 deficit. Corey Ginsberg at the plate takes ball one. And it is still for Northern Highlands on the mound, Donald Kohler. Swing and a miss for Ginsberg, 1-1. That one outside, 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike two for Ginsberg. Ginsberg called strike three. And there's one away. And here's Gavin O'Donnell. In the dirt. Ball one from Kohler. I want a called strike. We've got a 1-1 count. O'Donnell fouls that one off. 1-2. The 1-2 to O'Donnell. Outside, 2-2. O'Donnell, another foul ball. That one back here. 2-2. Next up for Hills, John Giantonio. O'Donnell, high fly ball. Can they track it down? Yes. It was the right fielder coming over, Steven Martinez. And there's two away. So now John Giantonio with two away, trying to get at least something before the end of the fourth. See what he can do after two straight outs. Look to bunt there. It'll be a foul ball for strike one. And now Coach Paul Albarella coming out to talk with the umpire. Get back to work after that conversation. They called it a ball. 1-0, and now it's 2-0 to Giantonio. Swings and misses, strike one. The 2-1 outside, 3-1 for Giantonio. Kohler. The 3-1. Outside, Giantonio will walk. With 2 away, 1 on. This is Jake Szabo coming to the plate. Bottom of the 4th inning. Timeout here for Kohler. And Szabo ready to go. First pitch from Kohler. In there, strike one. Szabo takes ball one. Wind starting to pick up just a little bit. One count. That one just high, 2-1. It's going to be Giantonio advancing after the wild pitch, and he slides into second. So he does steal, still 2 out. A 3-1 count for Szabo. Joe Napolitano on deck. 2 away, 3-1. Fouled off by Jake Szabo. Full count, 2 out. Bottom 4th, 4-1 Highlands. Giantonio at second, Szabo at the plate, trying to get one back. Giantonio's going. Ground ball to short. Will they get him? Wagner gets Szabo. End of the 4th inning, 4-1 for Northern Highlands, with the 5th, 6th, and the 7th, if necessary, to go. We're back, top of the 5th. Kyle Marquise on the mound for Hills. It is a cold day, wind blowing towards home plate. Marquise's first pitch is low. He's pitching here to Steven Martinez. And after Martinez will be Charlie Gobert and Tyler Bayless, the bottom of the Highlands order. That one nearly clipping Martinez. We have a 2-0 count in Marquise's first batter of this 5th inning. That one fouled back here, 3-0. Sorry, 2-1. Nice curveball from Marquise, 2-2. That one fouled off of Szabo's mask. We stay at a 2-2 count. And that one hit him. Martinez will take his base on a 2-2 count. That may go down as a very big wasted opportunity for Hills, but we'll have to see what Highlands does with it. Now up is the center fielder, Charlie Gobert. Nice pitch for Marquise in there, strike one. Foul ball off of the bat of Gobert. 0-2 to the senior. Curve but high for Marquise, 1-2. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2 for Kyle Marquise. Big pitch, 2-2. Hit him again. Gobert and Martinez both plunked by Kyle Marquise. None out, 2 on, top of the 5th. And now it's Tyler Bayless. Bayless looks like he's readying to bunt. That one fouled. A 1. Now it's a hit into center, a base hit at that. The throw coming in. They won't send him. A nice hit from Bayless to load the bases with none away. And now Marquise in a bit of trouble. And Coach Evans coming out. Great play, however, from Mulligan out in center to make sure the runner could not score. We'll see what Evans does here. We'll see if Marquise is going to stay on the mound. And he'll come in after a few hit-by pitches and then a deep hit there that allowed Highlands to load the bases. And now it is Jake Wagner who comes to the plate. Last year had 16 RBIs. Looking for at least 2 on this at-bat coming up. It is Eddie Mulligan who takes over on the mound for Pascack Hills. Last year, a 4.05 ERA in 311 pitches, 19 innings pitched. Allowed 13 runs, 11 of which were earned, had 13 strikeouts along with that. He faces Jake Wagner in the top of the Highlands order with the bases loaded. And Wagner has a base hit to score 1, maybe 2. Napolitano trying to make the play. He gets it to O'Donnell. And 1 run will score. That one from Stephen Martinez, excuse me. Bases stay loaded. It is now a 5-1 ball game. And now it'll be Alec Petrino coming to the plate, the sophomore. Mulligan got it in there low. 0-1. That one high, 1-1. That one fouled off just a bit by Petrino. 1-2. Now the count. None out, bases loaded. And there is a errant pitch. Just barely hauled in by Szabo. 2-2. And that'll make it 3-2. Low and outside for Mulligan. A walk gives Highlands a 6-1 lead. He's got a 3-2 count, looking for his first out of the inning. That one, a high fly ball to center. It's a little too high to do much. And a nice catch is made for the first out by John Giantonio, who moves over to center replacing Mulligan. Joe Napolitano now in right, and Marquez, I believe, is out in left. So there's one away. The bases are still loaded. And now the batter is Evan Radoncic. He'll take strike one. That's a high fly ball. He's got a chance. It's off the wall in left. Gonna be 3 RBIs. If he gets down, he does. A 3 RBI double for Evan Radoncic. Clears the bases and makes it an 8-1 ball game. 10 runs is the mercy rule at the end of 5 innings. We'll see if we see that today. Would be a reprieve from the cold weather, but would not be fun to be on that end. This is Zach Braunstein, cleanup hitter with not much cleaning up to do, as the only man on is Radoncic at second. Took ball 1 from Mulligan. Ground ball to Cho, has a little bit of trouble, but gets it to Blackford in time. And we have 2 away with a man on third. Mulligan's first offering is outside, and Radoncic doesn't even have to slide. He comes home and makes it a 9-1 game. Two out, none on now. And a 1-0 count. Two and 0. This is Will Simmel. And a high fastball to make it 3-0. That one in the dirt. 4-pitch walk for Mulligan. And now the batter, Jaden Luffman. Runner going. Cho has to jump. Wankus keeps it from making any more noise. And we've got another runner on second. That one is Simmel. This is Luftman at the plate. Check what that was, either a ball or a strike. He swing, he did. So it is a 1-1 count. On the floor, 2-1. Two one from Mulligan also outside. 3-1 now the count. And that one in the dirt as well. It will be 2 straight walks for Mulligan as Simmel goes to second and Luffman goes to first. 2 away, a 9-1 Highlands lead. Corey Ginsberg going to the bullpen for Hills. Now it's Steven Martinez at the plate. And he started this top of the 5th inning, what seems like a long time ago. Mulligan deals him a strike. Second pitch, fly ball, base hit into shallow center. It will be another run for Highlands. And they are going to keep everybody where they are, but it is Simmel scoring. And it has been that kind of day. So an RBI double for Martinez makes this a 10-1 ball game. And there are runners on second and third with 2 away. Swing and a miss for Charlie Gobert. Board says 0-1. We'll check if they add to it. Looks like it's going to stay. That one nearly in the dirt, 1-1. High, 2-1. Gobert at the plate. Runner on third who could make it a 10-run game and put us within mercy rule qualifications. And a called strike inside. 2-2. Ground ball gets through. It's a 10-run, and it will stay a 10-run game. Jaden Leftman comes home off of an RBI single from Charlie Gobert. There are runners on the corners now. And it's Tyler Bayless coming to the plate. Highlands last year, a first-round exit in the North 1 Group 3 tournament. They were the 10 seed, lost at Mount Olive 3-0 in the first round. Hills, if you remember, a second round, a quarterfinal exit in the sectional tournament. And Blackford makes the catch for the final out of the top of the fifth. 11-1 the score. If there's no scoring from Hills, we are 3 outs away from ball game over. Bottom of the fifth inning. Don't want to be too advantageous, but if no runs are scored for Hills, the game will be ended by mercy rule. There's a new pitcher for Highlands. That is Jake Gartman. He's a senior, although I do not see any pitching statistics for him on our stat sheet provided by NJ.com. That one in the dirt for Gartman. The batter is Joe Napolitano. And the board is not on, but I believe it is a 1-0 count. Knapp fouls one back here, and we've got a 1-1 count. I believe it may be 2-1, so that's what I'll put up, but no confirmation. There's some deer in the outfield. Look at that. Look, there's a whole pack of them. Gartman deals, swing and a miss for Napolitano, 2-2. Oh, nice grounder. It's going to get through. Napolitano with the base hit to start the bottom of the fifth. And now up comes Kyle Wankus. With Napolitano on first. High fly ball for Wankus all the way back. It is at the wall. And Napolitano rounding third. Looks like it'll be a ground rule double. No, home run. Kyle Wankus to dead center. How about that? Eleven to 3, now our score. No, it was a ground rule double. Okay, I got Wank came home. What do they call then? Oh, my God. Well, first of all, thank you, Sean, for pointing that out. I'm a bit washed. I guess we're still on our at-bat. Or it's a ground rule. Oh, that's what it was. Ground rule double. So Kyle Marquise is at the plate. I believe he just took ball one. It is still an 11-1 game. There's none out. Wankus is at second, and Napolitano is at third. That one outside as well, I believe. Wankus swings and misses. And I believe the umpire just said it was a 2-2 count. We'll see if that's correct. No, they have 1-2 on the board. That one outside, 2-2. That one fouled off over to the football field. 2-2 for Marquise. We'll have a full count. 3-2 to Kyle Marquise. Weak grounder, third baseman there. Out one, but Napolitano will come home to score. And it is a 11-2 ball game. One out, runner at third. That is Wankus. And at the plate is Emerson Cho. Ooh, foul ball right back here. It'll be Cho after the break. Jake Gartman still on the mound for Northern Highlands, taking over for Donald Kohler in this fifth inning. Gartman, 0-1 count. Line drive foul from Cho makes it 0-2. Oh and 2 for Cho. Gartman deals. Another foul. Oh and 2. Gartman high. 1-2 now the count. High fly. Foul once again for Cho. One and two. That's Cho with a nice hit to left. It will drop. Wankus comes home. RBI single for Emerson Cho. Makes this an 11-3 game. One out. Man on first. And Anthony Blackford at the plate. Low from Gartman, 1-0. Ground ball, bouncing off of a foot. It'll be a base hit for Blackford, coming to third. If he can make it there, he will, because they can't hold on to it. Emerson Cho. There are runners on the corners for Corey Ginsberg. And now Gartman will have a little conference with Paul Albarella. New pitcher for Northern Highlands. It is Rowan Trapicchio, the sophomore. And the batter for Hills is Corey Ginsberg with one away and runners on the corners. Emerson Cho at third, Anthony Blackford at first. It is an 11-3 Highlands lead. 8-run game, yes, but leads can go away very quickly in baseball, and we'll see if that is the case today. And we have a balk call here, so Cho is going to score, and Blackford will advance to second. And now it is 11-4. So Trapicchio, before he's even thrown a pitch, has a run scored on him. It's Ginsberg at the plate with Blackford now at second. Trapicchio, his first pitch of the game, is a ground ball to second. They'll make the play, 2 away, and Blackford advances to third. And it'll be Gavin O'Donnell, the junior, at the plate. Trapicchio on the mound. Blackford with the potential to make this an 11-5 game and make it a 6-run Highlands lead. Strike one called for Trapicchio with 2 away. That one on the outside edge, 0-2 for Rowan Trapicchio. And one more sends Hills back to the dugout. Fouled off by O'Donnell. We stay at an 0-2 count. See what Gavin O'Donnell can do here. Trapicchio dealing. That's a high fly ball. O'Donnell to center. It is caught. And Highlands goes back to the dugout. They let up 3 runs to make it 11-4 at the end of the fifth. Top of the sixth, Corey Ginsberg on the mound for Hills. The first batter he'll face, Old Dominion commit Jake Wagner. And Wagner will take ball one. Bunt for Wagner, down the line, foul. The 1-1 to Wagner in there for strike two. That one low. 2-2 for Ginsberg, who last year had a 5.25 ERA, 7 strikeouts in 9.1 innings pitched, 230 about the total. Fouled off by Wagner. And we stay at an even 2-2 count. The 2-2 from Ginsberg. Check swing, but called strike three. One away. This is Alec Patino. Ground ball, third base line. Nice play. O'Donnell the first. Got him. And quickly there's two away. Evan Radoncic now to the plate. Approaching sunset here in Allendale. Eleven to 4. And Ginsberg facing off against Radoncic, who has been trouble for Hills today. Swings and misses at strike one. That one a little low. 1-1 for Ginsberg. Ball two. That one outside once again. It's a 3-1 count. High fly ball for Radoncic. And Napolitano makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down for Ginsburg. Middle of the 6th. That'll need a huge effort. 11-4 for Northern Highlands over Pascack Hills. This is John Giantonio to start the bottom of the 6th. The pitcher for Highlands still Rowan Trapicchio, the sophomore. First pitch to Giantonio, in there for strike 1. Oh and 1. Swing and a miss for Giantonio. May have tipped it, but it doesn't matter. 0 and 2. Nice curve, ground ball to third, bouncing up. Can't make the play. It bounced over to the shortstop. Bad bounce for Highlands allows Giantonio to get on. And this will be Jake Szabo at the plate with 1 man on. Let me tell you, folks, it is cold here. Sun is about to set. The wind, thankfully, has stopped, but it's about 48, maybe even less out here. First pitch, a strike from Trapicchio to Szabo. Second pitch is a ball. Trapicchio on the 1 and 1, fouled off by Jake Szabo. You've got a 1 and 2 count. Two and 2 count to Jake Szabo. Ground ball to third. Play at first. In time. Giantonio advances to second. And there's 1 away with a man on second for Hills after Szabo grounds out to third. And now it'll be Joe Napolitano at the plate trying to bring in his junior teammate, Giantonio. It's an 11-4 game in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. And you may ask why Hills is batting in the bottom of each of these innings. This game originally supposed to take place yesterday afternoon in Montvale, got canceled due to weather, rescheduled to today, canceled at Hills because the field was unplayable, moved here to Highlands where they did have a playable field, but Hills still technically the home team, which means they have all of those privileges despite not being on their home turf. 1 and 1. High fly ball to Napolitano in right. It is caught. Giantonio not going to tag. He gets back to second. And there's 2 away. And now Wenkus will come to the plate, number 30. And it will be Rowan Trapicchio trying to send Highlands back to the dugout for the penultimate time. Nice curve, strike 1. That one outside, 1-1 count. Called strike 2 on the outside edge, 1-2 with 2 away to Kyle Wankus. Ball 2. Wankus ground ball foul. In there, strike 3 from Trapicchio. End of the 6th, 11-4. Northern Highlands leads. Zach Braunstein at the plate. First pitch from Corey Ginsberg is a ball as we begin the top of the 7th inning. And Northern Highlands, who went 13-15 last year, secured a 10 seed in the sectional tournament North 1 Group 3 as a ground ball here from Braunstein heads to Cho, who gets it to Blackford for 1 out. Highlands on their way right now to their first victory of 2025. We'll see if they can secure it. They need 3 more outs in the bottom of this 7th inning. Will Simmel is at the plate after the ground out from Braunstein. And that one in there for strike 1 from Ginsberg. That one in the dirt. So it is 1-1. The 1-1 from Ginsberg also in the dirt, and we have a 2-1 count. Foul ball back here, 2-2. And another foul pop-up keeps us at 2-2. Well, it's getting a little dark, not too dark. We can still play, but our camera probably makes it look darker than it actually is. That one also in the dirt, so we get a full count here for Ginsberg with 1 away, facing Will Simmel. Sun definitely going down, and we will stop for darkness if we have to. Called strike 3 for Ginsburg here. And Hills one away from going to the bottom of the 7th. They'll need 7 runs if they want to extend the game. 8 will let them walk it off, but it's a tall order, especially in this weather. Not very helpful to hitting. Ginsburg's first offering is low. And the batter now is Jaden Luffman. Ground ball could send us back. Cho with the pickup finds Blackford back to the dugout, middle of the 7th. Unless there's a comeback, we've got 3 outs to go. Kyle Marquise to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Hills down 11-4. Inside from Rowan Trapicchio. Sorry, 1-0 count. And Trapicchio's second offering is strike, so 1-1 for Marquise. That one in the dirt. It's 2-1 count. Marquise with a base hit, lost by the shortstop, tries to get it over, but Marquise is there in time. And we've got 1 man on, none out. Kyle Marquise with a hit to start off the bottom of the 7th. It's Emerson Cho now at the plate. And here's Trapicchio. Curveball in there. Runner goes. Called strike, and they'll let him get there. Oh and 2. Marquise now at second. Show at the plate. That one fouled. Curveball, ground ball, base hit. Is Marquise going to come home? They'll wave him. And Kyle Marquise scores off of an RBI single from Emerson Cho. Six-run game. None out as well. Anthony Blackford at the plate. Corey Ginsburg on deck. Emerson Cho at first. Pick off, not in time. And that one outside. That one in there, 1-1. Just a little low, 2-1 now, the count. Outside, 3-1. Blackford at the plate. Oh, high fly ball for Blackford. That one in deep center, but it's catchable, and it is caught. So there's one away, and show stays on. Ginsburg comes to the plate. O'Donnell on deck. Trapicchio 2 outs away. Gets strike one. Strike two as well. That one just a little high, 1-2. Called strike three, 1 out away, Northern Highlands. And Gavin O'Donnell, in his first varsity start, probably not how he envisioned it to go, but he's coming to the plate now, the junior. 2 out, Emerson Chubb at first, 11-5 the score. Ground ball could do it. Shortstop catches, will just step on the bag, and Northern Highlands with a huge fourth inning finishes this one off with a final score of 11-5 in 7 innings. They'll get their first win in their opening game of the year. Hills will drop to 0-1 with a big week ahead of them. They've got Joe's tomorrow, and we'll be there for their game against Tenafly Friday, and then they do have a game against, I believe, Wayne Valley on Saturday. We'll be there for most of them. We'll try to get out to all of them. But for my cameraman, Sean Barry, for the wonderful people at Northern Highlands who allowed us to use their press box, for the guys from Hills who let us ride the bus here, this is Matthew Merlino. We will see you tomorrow for girls lacrosse live at 4:15 here on PH Athletics, and then Friday for hopefully the first home game for baseball as they take on Tenafly. Till then, good night. Thank you for watching this presentation of PH Athletics. For more information, head to hills.pascack.org/athletics.